Sometimes I feel like what we need to do more of is clean our windows, clean how we see the world. You don't see the window. And the idea is to not see the barrier between the inside and the outside, so to see reality, to see the truth. The typical understanding of dirt is something physical, something you can touch, something you can see. There's physical dirt, but there's dirt in industries. There's dirt in our minds. I was very curious as a child, and I was interested in seemingly mundane things. I used to like playing with ants and, things like that. I remember there was a time I was thinking of what does eternity mean, and I couldn't wrap my head around it. I was probably around 10 or maybe 11 when I realized cleaning. I like cleaning. I like cleaning the bathrooms. I like cleaning the floor. There's financial improvement from 2012 to 2013. We're a cleaning company. We clean homes, we clean offices, churches, schools, different kinds of buildings, and interior spaces. Our intention in doing physical cleaning is to do cleaning as a practice. And cleaning as practice is basically using the principles and the practices of cleaning to address individual challenges, leadership challenges, organizational issues, societal issues. Because dirt is not just physical. There's dirt that is in me that I need to clean, and I need to do that regularly.
Before I started at Zenith, I worked at the Liquor Board of British Columbia for 22 years, and I took early retirement from there and wanted to do something to stay physically fit. When I say I'm a janitor, I think possibly some of them feel sorry for me because I'm old and cleaning, but the fact is I'm enjoying it.
Okay, so should I do all the cement floor?
If you don't mind, because you have the cord and the thing right now.
There are times when I've said I'm a cleaner and people just, okay, because it's like a closure to that conversation. I mean, oh, you're just a cleaner, okay.
One time, it's a family get-together with a mix of people like white, black, Asian, and somebody asked me, what do I do? And it was an old person, not really old, but he's old enough to give a respect. So he asked me, what do I do? I said, a cleaner, and he started laughing. He said, you're a cleaner, and I didn't know what to say, like when I told him that I was a cleaner. It feels like, yeah, I'm just a cleaner, like in a bad thing, but in a way, I want to prove him wrong, that I'm not just a cleaner, that I'm going to be somewhere in the future. I think because of Zenith, I became less shy. Since a year and a half, I had my own cleaning company. I've been volunteering here for 2 years now. I wanted to volunteer because they give service to people without taking profit of it. So I like that way of thinking.
So we've been using Zenith cleaners probably for somewhere between 8 and 10 years. Most of the time we've lived in this house.
I think a lot of cleaners, it's get the job done, get in, get out there, and they don't really care as much.
I've had stereotypes myself, I think, about cleaning. I don't think I've ever thought about it before I started working with Zenith Cleaners, and I think I absolutely would have had a stereotype around people who clean and, you know, what they're like and why they're doing it and what they put into the job. And that's been completely changed by working with Zenith.
How's it going? Hey, how's your day?
It's quite intimate having people in your house. I mean, they're in your things, and I mean, really in your things. And we're very comfortable with both of them.
So I think I've had, you know, my stereotypes confronted and changed, which is always a good thing. I mean, so much so that I actually had asked Tolu if my son could work with him, my son's a student, if he could work with him for a short period of time in the holidays, which he did. And I was very keen for that to happen because, A, he needed a job, but also because I knew some of Tolu's magic would rub off on him in terms of his business philosophy. And Josh, my son, was really quite taken with the experience that he had there. Yeah.
There have been times I've questioned myself, why am I doing this? Are you crazy? I have my own dirt that I deal with regularly. And if you've come into cleaning like me, you're coming from a completely different environment into cleaning. What am I doing carrying a mop? You know? Or I'm an MBA, you know? Or I sit on boards. What am I doing with this? I'm not a cleaner. Those questions arise, but it's also interesting to step back and look at what's going on in my mind. We're working with CEOs a lot, so CEOs get immersed in cleaning, you know, and the idea is to take what they learn in cleaning, you know, the insights from cleaning bathrooms, homes, to address internal issues that they face, whether at work or personally.
As a general manager at Crudessence, it's really a mix of planning and putting out fires. It's related to a lot of financial stuff. I deal with HR all the time, build who's the right people for the team, big projects, as well as day-to-day management, looking at numbers, looking at output, looking at productivity. I met Tolu at a talk we were both invited to give on effectively somehow the relationship between money and love. So how do you bring love and money together, something along those lines in the business context. The cleaning program for executives or for managers, Tolu spoke with me about it, and I think I showed a lot of enthusiasm right away. The very first day, I was afraid of not being good enough. So I was worried that I was not going to be a good cleaner, or that I was going to be embarrassed, or that I was going to be called out for something. The first time that I did get some feedback, which wasn't always positive, it was more like, hey, go back and finish the toilet, or finish. It's hard to receive, even though you knew you were expecting it, and I knew that there was likely going to be something like that. So there was something about like that, and then it was okay, because it was like, wow, you know what, I got through that, and it's like, then I would be happy to go and say, hey, come and check what I've done. In terms of thinking about how I processed all the things that were coming up, I have a practice of meditation and yoga, and what I was doing there was the perfect example of yoga, which is just as it arised, deal with it. So I was not trying to get too into my head. I was like, wow, clean. You know, it's really the wax on, wax off. So when in doubt, if you're getting into your head, just jump back into the task at hand and keep cleaning. If I caught myself in the mindset of saying, hey, why would I clean someone else's toilet? It literally is look at where your hands are going and take a breath and just connect to what it is. So it's as easy as remembering to get back into the task. It was a relief to be the guy who was cleaning over there that no one noticed. You know, there might have been a couple of moments where I had a question for somebody and I realized this person is perceiving me as a cleaner, which isn't a bad thing, but they're not perceiving me as what I'm normally supposed to be being perceived as, and it didn't, you know, what it did is it created a little moment of like, maybe minor bit of ego moment, and then like a laugh at myself. It might be a different thing, I think, if you were clearly cleaning as a profession or cleaning on a regular basis where you're quote unquote always invisible. there's, you know, for me, it was a contrast to my day-to-day life. So I think that's something that you know, maybe after doing this for 3 weeks, you'd be like, hey, what about me? But for me, I was like, wow, I get a chance to kind of, not hide, but just be cloaked, as it were. There's something really powerful about going into a new environment because we are out of our comfort zone. And when we're out of our comfort zone, but yet still held nicely in the sense that the conditions are okay and we know what we're in for, then something kind of magical happens because we get it's hard to describe, but there's like a different self-view. It's humbling. Just remember that we're all here, you know, participating, whether we're a cleaner, cleaning the floor, a chef, executive, that it's all just part of the same thing.
Cleaning as practice right now is manifesting in different ways. We're working with an NGO right now where we're bringing cleaning as practice into the organization as an organizational development initiative and leadership development program. Everybody in the organization gets immersed in cleaning from the top to the bottom. We have a client, a school client, called Rudolph, where we're bringing cleaning from just cleaning the hallways and the bathrooms and, you know, the classes to how do we take cleaning to a higher level? How do we use cleaning to address intangible things? And what we've done with them is to make cleaning more like part of the educational curriculum, where the kids spend 15 minutes a day cleaning their classroom. The idea behind that is hopefully addressing issues of mindfulness amongst kids, presence, empathy, connecting with each other, respect for the environment, you know, and hopefully also in a very subtle way addressing bullying issues. Because when you clean with someone, you connect with them at a very different level. We organize parties a few times a year where we bring cleaners and clients together, and we want them to connect in a more relaxed environment. It's a way of breaking down barriers.
My mother used to own a cleaning company in Chicago, so that's how I was originally introduced to this type of service. I don't ever remember my mom having a party in which I could encounter both clients and employees at the same time. Usually we would have gatherings where clients were definitely invited, or dinner parties, and then we would have a separate event for employees.
This is what we want, like connecting with the client and everything, you know, and being much more than seen as a cleaner and everything, you know.
Moi, je travaille à l'extérieur, donc je l'avais seulement rencontré une fois auparavant, et donc c'était un peu gênant que la madame entre chez nous toutes les 2 semaines, puis je la connais vraiment pas. Donc c'était le fun juste de souper ensemble, puis de se connaître davantage plutôt que juste se laisser des notes. Donc ça c'était vraiment bien.
Often when I say I'm a cleaner, I'm saying it with everything in me. I'm saying it with the whole, what I understand as being a cleaner. You know, I say with a lot of confidence. And so usually people are taken aback because a cleaner usually doesn't say, I'm a cleaner. A cleaner, I'm just a cleaner. I don't say that. I am a cleaner.